Hi, it's Gawyn from Crew Real Estate, and we have Jamie here from Money Lab. He's part of the team that are down here with us today, and he's going to be answering some of the questions that we get asked from our clients, some of the most frequently asked questions, in fact. So, Jamie, a lot of people assume that because they don't have savings in the bank, that they're not in a position to invest in an investment property. How would they use equity in their home?
Really good question. So it's actually a really good point that you shouldn't try and use savings when buying an investment. So unlike buying your first home where you need to have a deposit, once you've paid that loan down to a certain extent, and that does vary as to how much you might need, you're able to then use that gap between what your home is worth and what loan you have to fund the deposit for your investment property. And that's actually the recommended way of doing it. It does have some tax advantages that are probably more diverse than most people think. And that's probably the biggest way of leveraging your ability to get ahead financially. And
Jamie, would most investors use this method? By using equity?
Yeah, I would say somewhere above 80% of investors use this method, even those with significant savings. You're always better off having that paid into your own home loan or into an offset against your home loan. There is a far better benefit there than it is to put it into an investment property itself.
Oh, that's interesting. So another question that we often get asked, and at the moment we know, because it's on the news everywhere, interest rates are at a historical low. Is it really important to have the lowest interest rate in an investment or not?
Really good question once again, and a really common question. People do tend to chase the interest rate because as the general population knows, lower is better. But when it comes to buying an investment property and ultimately building a portfolio to support your retirement, it's about making sure that you get the right balance between the interest rate and other factors like features you may want, the type of bank you may want to deal with, whether or not they have branches, the type of service and ability to borrow money is far more important than just the interest rate. It's a good factor, but it's not the place we start when we're looking for a home for an investor.
Well, that's interesting because I know a lot of clients, they do become quite dissatisfied with their banks. You hear it quite a lot actually, but they don't do anything about moving. How easy is it for a client to move from the bank that they're with?
Vary these days, particularly when using a broker who will do most of the heavy lifting for you in terms of finding you the right bank and making sure the features line up to what you're looking for, and that obviously varies wildly. But I think even a couple of years ago there was much more paperwork involved. One of the good outcomes of the COVID-19 pandemic is most of the banks have invested heavily in making the process largely digital. It's entirely possible when we've got many clients who we act for interstate, who you don't need to put pen to paper. It's all done through your computer. Pay slips obviously are largely digital. A lot of those documents you used to have to provide are just an email these days.
It certainly makes it easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the banks, ironically enough, are making it easier for everyone because in making it easier to attract clients, they also make it easier to lose clients, which is just the way the market works these days.
Oh, that's really great. Thank you.
No problem.